is Rugby League's grand occasion, and a fitting finale that it should once more involve the two sides who have been consistently top class for most of the season. Old Trafford reverberates. St Helens named the 17 that beat Leeds in the playoff game a fortnight ago. No place for Jason Kalis, despite his recovery from illness. A back injury for fullback Brent Webb rules out one of Leeds' most potent attackers. Ryan Hall is drafted in on the right wing, and Lee Smith, who avoided a suspension this week, drops back to fullback. Our referee tonight is Ashley Klein. Well, something has to give between two sides of immense quality. St Helens will start as favourites. They have been running hot when it matters. Leeds picked up their form with a victory against Wigan last week. It is a very, very tough one to call, this one, isn't it?
How good is this game going to be, Dave? Two great teams, the best two teams in the competition this year. They're going to muscle it out, early on especially.
Well, it is the battle of the forwards which will absorb our interest in these opening stages, as both packs look to get that early dominance. Maguire out wide. It's Ellis who came in. Ryan McLennan in his first season in charge. He oversaw victory against Melbourne in the World Club Championship at the start of the season, and looking for a real finale at the end here too. Here's Cunningham at dummy half. He's going to be taken in by Melly, the winger, looking for a bit of the early action, and Gardner's in there too. Last game in charge for that man, Daniel Anderson, returns to Australia at the end of this game. There's Cunningham again, real warrior for his side this season. St Helens finding it tough to make the yards here. Leeds are in their faces. Here's Graham, named the man of steel earlier this week. Sixth tackle coming up though, and they've barely made the halfway line. Long out to Price, Price with a kick, and it's going to be an early touch for Lee Smith at fullback.
I think that's round one to Leeds. I think they've set their stall out to kick early leads and use their big people to try and intimidate the St Helens side in the middle. Conversely, I think Saints are still going to try and move the ball around in these conditions.
Well, this time last year, we did give St Helens top billing, but it was Leeds who managed to win on that occasion by a distance, 33 points to 6. It was a sparkling performance under Tony Smith. They'll have to come up with something very similar here tonight too. As Maguire lets fly, Andy Gardner is the man to watch it, and carefully will bring it back to his opponents, who have chased well here. It's a good line that means St Helens will have to start from on their own 10-metre line. Leeds' defence is really rattling it up here, isn't it?
Definitely round one to Leeds. We've seen there, Dave. They want to kick long. They've got numbers down there. 10 or 11 blue shirts were down there to intimidate Gardner on the first carry.
It will open up. We know these early stages are so often high intensity, high collision, low in risk taking. Cunningham again now, prying now that left-hand flank. It's another six tackle reach with St Helens still short of the halfway line, so long this time will kick, it's knocked down. It is another six tackles though, it was a charge down, so some relief at least for St Helens as Helens brings it back. But again, they've got some hard yards to do here.
And I think they're fortunate. I think Ellis just turns his back there. I think they'll be disappointed with that Leeds because they really had restricted St Helens. To give them another 6 players on the back of such a good defensive effort will be tough for them.
Well, the noise inside Old Trafford is absolutely deafening at the moment. 3 tackles gone in this second set now for St Helens. Kieran Cunningham again, there's a Leeds man in the way. Cunningham picks up anyway, runs at Burrow, who puts the shoulder down and makes the tackle. He was perceived as the weak link in that Leeds line then, but didn't prove to be so. Here comes Graham now, trying to wrestle himself out, but can't. 3 defenders there. Last tackle will be the next. Again, St Helens find themselves in familiar territory. Out it goes to Price. They're going to try and run it for a little while here. Eventually it's Wilkin who gets the boot away. Smith will chase towards that try line. And a reasonable carry away too.
That was an outstanding play from the Saints team, because their first kicker was chased down long, their second kicker was chased down Price, and the advantage is they had Wilkin as third receiver who can really well the ball.
They are a team of talents, aren't they? St Helens, so many individuals who so often gel so well as a side. Leeds his turn to try and carry, provide a little bit of the biff. It's in by Luluai. Diskin wants his teammates to be allowed to get on with it as quickly as possible. Maguire now runs it wide. Here comes Ellis with a little step. Three are quickly attracted to him. Maguire again wants it played quickly. It is reasonably so. Now the kick from Sinfield. Gardner takes it on the bounce, skidded into him, but he took it with a safe pair of hands and has the confidence to look for his fullback, Wellens. Cunningham, now Melly. Interesting to see the wingers getting involved so early in the middle of the park.
I think it's a low risk, a high percentage play, a dummy half run, so they're not being intimidated by the Leeds pack and finding their front, trying to find a quick play of the ball so they can kick on the front foot.
There's Gidley. Again well marshalled, and again the tackles are being counted off here by Ashley Klein as St Helens struggle to make any real yardage, but a good inside ball and suddenly out through. Gilmore has support now, and it's Wellens who's up there with him too. Back to Gilmore, the old 1-2, and off it goes to Graham. Who would have thought it? The prop forward with the first try of the grand final. St Helens looked as though they were being suffocated down the middle, but as so often before, they found a way to unpick their opponent's defence. And James Graham, the man of steel, is the man of the moment.
Outstanding try from the St Helens. Long the architect, Gilmore, great inside shoulder line, takes the full-back. We thought the play was over there, but who pops up to support Gilmore on the return? Great try, James Graham. Subliminal skill from Long, dragged the player across the line and made a hole for Gilmore. Ball in two hands, full-back commits himself, Gilmore stays alive and again promotes the ball for Graham, and support play of the first class.
Shaw long without the two, and St Helens jumped out to an early lead. There hadn't really been an indication of it coming until it came. St Helens at the blink of an eye have the lead.
Super play from the Saints team, because we think he's going to pass the ball to kick. Give Paul Wellens some credit here. I think it's Wellens on the inside that takes the defender off, and you just have to say that that's Super Rugby League right up the middle.
Well, Graham's reading at the moment was superb as well, wasn't it? And his energy to get up there too. You'd expect Wellens, not necessarily Graham, to be in that position.
Well, I think they encouraged the nearest man to the ball, and he had nothing else to do, Dave, but it's great credit that he got there.
Well, James Graham will be carrying the hopes of England as well. He and several more in the World Cup this autumn. And St Helens off to a flying start. 7 minutes played. There's Talau. Well, it's exactly what St Helens needed, but exactly what Leeds didn't need. They need to build momentum in this game to try and knock their opponents off the perch. Cunningham, sixth tackle from deep. Oh, Longest drops it. Well, the handover will come 20 yards away from the St Helens line.
This is what Leeds have been playing for. They've been waiting for the one error at their own end of the field. Part of their game plan has been to get down there and try and force some errors in the St Helens team. Great opportunity to hit back now.
Early days, but it is possibly a pivotal moment in the game, as James Buchanan will take it in. 5 tackles from here and 19 yards to cover. Here's Peacock. On his foundations, Leeds' season has been built. Diskin again. Sinfield throws it wide to Maguire. Maguire's got several options. The ball's been lost by Ellis, and it did go forward. So as cheaply as it came, it's cheaply given away by Leeds.
Finals and semi-finals are lost by probably how well you look after the ball. And Leeds are going to try and tempt the line when they get there, and they must pay attention to that side of their game, because if you come just to defend with St Helens, you get beaten badly.
Well, there is still work to do here for the side in white and red, because there are 6 tackles to get this ball away from their line without making any more mistakes. Leeds' defence has been reasonably tight so far, apart from that one moment. Peacock and Gilmore involved in a no-nonsense coming together.
Ouch.
Question of a possible high contact. Here's Gidley. Burrow again was a man around his ankles. Donald came in to help too. Here's Price. Long. Back it goes to Wellens. Quickly handed on again to Tala. Maguire grabs, can't keep hold. Now it's White-Amelli who steps back on the inside too. Leeds is sliding defences out there quickly to make sure he's pinned down. But here comes tackle 6 as Long just dabs it over. Looking to put Leeds on the back foot here. Lee Smith will collect safely enough. Look at the chase. Good one too. Good hands also from Smith to find Donald.
Super ball from Smith to Donald. Puts Leeds immediately on the front foot because Saints had a good line chase there. And we saw how they're going to be expansive. They're not frightened to throw the ball around, are they?
This is Burrow from dummy half. Scurrying and scampering, and Long went high but couldn't keep hold. Gidley could. And for too long. Tackle was made and he simply stayed there, and the referee has given the penalty Leeds his way and a chance to clear their lines.
Gosh, that's tough.
Keep working, guys.
Stamped his mark there, Mr. Klein, hasn't he?
Let me deal with it.
And Gidley, the man who's given away the position because Sinfield has belted it out of play. 10 yards inside the St Helens half. Long will take it. Here comes Luluai. 3 again attracted to him. Diskin.
Hold 10, hold 10.
Wanted it playing as quickly as possible. It's on for Peacock, who simply takes it in solidly and strongly as ever. Diskin now runs away. From dummy half, we're going to see all kinds of magic weave tonight because both sides have terrific exponents of those arts. As Sinfield just tries to find a way through again. They are getting closer here, Leeds. Can they provide the ultimate damage? Burrow away to Maguire, who juggled a little and then has to step back on the inside. 1 tackle to come, 10 yards to cover. Diskin picks it up, back it goes to Burrow. The boot was inevitable. Left-footed towards Gardner on that wing. Donald went up, Gardner just good enough on it to steer it out of play. And the referee gives Leeds a head and feed at the scrum.
I think that's a good call. That's a great leap from Scott Donald, isn't it? How exciting is that? This one-on-one challenge in the air. It's a great competition. Eddie Gardner, whilst he didn't come up with the ball, we were pleased he saw it dribble out of the touch.
Well, the pressure's on St Helens here because it is a second successive set of 6 that Leeds now have to attack the line. And as ever in these situations, fatigue begins to play a part. And Burrow almost through. The referee saw an obstruction, and he's given a penalty to St Helens.
It lets them off the hook, doesn't it? I think one thing that we haven't mentioned about this St Helens team, Dave, is how well they defend. You know, we've seen they're a championship side, not because of the flashy and fluent tries they score, but how well they're prepared to bend their backs as well.
Something that has been a feature under Daniel Anderson, hasn't it? They always had that reputation of thrilling and catching the eye, but steel provided as well now.
Here's 10, wait, Matt, wait, Jamie, go.
Here's Cunningham.
Play on, play on.
Not going too far forward.
Carly, move.
The rain is sweeping across, by the way, at Old Trafford tonight. It is a Manchester night.
3 now.
St Helens again look to struggle to take advantage here. This is Long. Inside again, and once more it's Gilmore who's ripping a heart through that Leeds defence. Shrugs off the attempts of Smith. Finds Ellis there to complete the tackle. The referee saw a bit of a grapple there, I think, so he's given a penalty to Saints.
Great play from Gilmore. See here, super little short ball from Long again, and who's the recipient? Lee Gilmore. Has the speed of the centre and the toughness to play the back row.
Well, the penalty's taken quickly, not gone for touch, they've taken the tap. Here comes Cunningham again now. Out it goes to Wellens, up in the line to full back. Leeds having to work overtime in defence now for the next 4 or 5 tackles. Cunningham, it's back with Graham, the try scorer, who's looking to find the line again. Cunningham, hands on hips, and takes a good look around at what's available. Here's Flannery. 3 of them. Now Price. It's Gidley, who used his winger as a foil. Didn't fool the Leeds defence, they hung on tight, and he's forced out of play.
He was trying to replicate a carbon copy of the playoff where they got Burrow one-on-one or Maguire one-on-one on the short side with Gidley. Last time he managed to barge his way over, this time the Leeds defence was up to it.
It was a good clever tackle from Diskin, wasn't it, to help out with Donald.
Make sure you come back 10, you don't want to get one away. Keep working, guys. Just wipe your head with your hand. Stay in, Paul.
14 minutes of the 2008 Grand Final played. St Helens leading by 6 points to 0 here, and Leeds Looking again to do it tough from deep inside their own half.
Go. Good work, James.
This is Maguire. It's just driven down the middle by Ellis.
2. Heads up, Kieran. Wait. Go. It's okay.
Luluai.
3. Move, James.
Big fellas are queuing up to take this ball in. The next one will be Peacock. Third drive in for Leeds. 4 tackles in all have gone now. They're creeping towards the halfway line. Maguire loses patience with that and kicks downfield. It's taken well enough by Wellens, as ever, impeccably positioned.
That's okay. 1.
And just about up to the 40-metre line when he's put down.
Go.
Cunningham.
Oh.
This is Gidley. Burrow again, just trying to hit him with a shoulder. The referee is stopping the clock here.
Just hold the ball there, Matt. It's quite a bad cut.
Injury to Jones Buchanan, which you can see how bad it is. The referee has stopped it. I think this is going to be a blood
Did you
binning.
saw it in here, or?
I think it was that tackle, or maybe, yes.
Just caught his elbow, didn't he? Paul Wellens' his
not on
elbow.
your jersey. Not on your jersey. That's all right.
So it goes down here. Oh, and there's a lot of collisions there, weren't there?
Did he catch his stud as well on the way down?
Well, Wellens has got a bandage around his elbow, and just wondering whether that is what has caused the rip in the head. You see there as it just grazes his forehead, and then he holds.
Matt, just in line with the touch, Judge. Keith, go forward, mate.
Looked to be a lot of blood, didn't it? There you go. Ronnie Jones,
All right, we're
just bandage me up, get me out there again.
Just grab your, make sure you grab your scissors.
Well, there's a collision there, but then Wellens' elbow comes up too. Accidental.
Keith!
No question of a penalty, but it is a chance for both sides to take a little breath in a game that has been high impact. As Graham takes it in again.
Give it to Jamie Jones. Who's the first bloke in there? Trying to wrestle and grapple and hit.
Long to Price. No chance this time for Gilmore.
Stand! Play it lead, Marcus, wait.
Here's Price, a dummy half.
It's okay.
That's a good offload, and again by Wilkin, and here comes Melly. There goes the Leeds defence, and almost putting him out. Price will look high. It's a slippy ball when it went up, and it's a terrific take by Donald under those circumstances.
What a great catch. That ball's moving. Viewers won't understand how much that ball moves in the air. And to judge it to perfection like that and come up with a catch in these conditions is super skill.
You can see the mizzle in the air at the moment. It's more than that. It's quite heavy rain. Here comes Senior. Real nip and tuck final so far. One break, one decisive break. That's all it took for St Helens to find a way to the try line. Otherwise, it's a wrestle down the middle as Maguire looks to get through again. He's the likeliest candidate. Six Tattle will be the next. Diskin out to Sinfield. Sinfield puts boot to it. Melly's already dropped back, anticipating the high one. Down it comes. He's misjudged it, but he was impeded in its flight because a Leeds player came through on him. And the referee has given a penalty St Helens way.
I think being on the front foot, that would be one of Leeds' tactics to kick to Francis Melly. They've had a little bit of success there before. I think, gosh, that's a tough call, but the referee's certainly seen something.
Well, he's given a penalty against Ablett. Well, there was no contact, he just waved a hand.
I think that's a really tough call on Leeds.
Wait, go.
There's Graham.
2. Can't move.
17 minutes of the game played. Cunningham. St Helens bench, of course, does include the likes of Roby and Farsavalu. Fozzard and Clough are there too, but Roby and Farsavalu are the two who really can lift a game, shake it up when others maybe are tiring. The two impact players. The tackle on Flannery. Oh, it's misguided by Gidley, picked up by Graham. Price hurries with a kick away. It was as good as they could expect in the circumstances.
You have to say the Leeds harassment is terrific, don't you? They're really sticking to this game plan of Brian McLennan's of trying to put St Helens under pressure as much as they can. They just need a couple of calls at the right end of the field.
They had the game last week, of course, against your side, and Brian McLennan was saying how important that was for his team. Do you see a massive improvement tonight from the way they played against St Helens a fortnight ago?
Well, you do, because but the game was broken up. Last year's grand final was broken up with 3 tries in the last few minutes. I think it's what happens in the last 20 minutes is as important as this stage. But you certainly see the vigour from Leeds, don't we? They're excited, they're aggressive, they're trying to get to the right part of the field.
6-0, 6 tackle. Here comes Burrow, high again. Melly, having spilt one, doesn't suffer from a lack of confidence in taking that. It's a cruel game, isn't it? Somebody knocks on, he's immediately a target. But he held it well and brings it forward again here, does Melly.
There used to be a time when the winger's job was easy. You just don't get too many people knocking on the coach's door now in relation to I want to play on the wing, because if they carry the ball 20 times, do 5 or 6 tackles, that doesn't change from years gone by. But they've got to kick those things, you've got to catch those things that people are kicking at them.
Well, Mick Fossard has just come onto the pitch. It's Bryn Hargreaves who's gone off. That's the first change, I think, from either side's point of view. We've played very nearly 20 minutes. As Long shuffles it on to Price. Good hands by Wilkin, and then Tallow, and here's Melly, who kicks it away because he saw the cul-de-sac closing ahead of him. But again, it's a good take by Smith, and a step back, and suddenly he's away. And had it not been for that tackle, he would have been away, because he can fly. Leeds have momentum now, looking to build again here, and the penalty is given away.
Who was the tackle? Who was the tackle? That's absolute try-saver. Was it Wellens, the last man standing on Smith? Let's have a look. Beats one, goes down the sideline, beats Long and Price. Yeah, Paul Wellens. That saves the try, because as good as James Graham is, he wasn't going to get to Lee Smith.
Penalty has given Leeds excellent position there. 20 yards out, driven in by Peacock. He's a real handful. Just tires out that Saints defence a little more. It's now switched to the middle in Sinfield. On to Burrow. Burrow stands, dummies, darts, off he goes. Looks for Senior with the inside ball. Senior's still carrying it, wants to offload. Jamie Jones-Buchanan was there to take it. There was a hint of a forward pass. The referee said no. Here comes Sinfield down the middle again. And Saints just about hanging on, just about hanging on. Scruton is also on from the bench. Back to Burrow. Burrow out to Senior. Donald on the outside. Senior's trying to take it through the muscular route. Slides ever closer. Picked up by Jones-Buchanan. Now Burrow again. Watched by Graham. Burrow slips over. And that made it easy make for Gilmore. But it's still an ace position here for Leeds. As Maguire puts a kick high to Melly again. Not that high. Melly's underneath it. Simple diffusion. It will be a tap back on the 20.
Great defence from St Helens, especially on Cena, that first play. He's big and he's strong. And they've got numbers there with Long and Gidley. And here we see Nick Fossard's first carry.
I wasn't sure about the kick there. It wasn't really that much of a test, was it, for Melly?
Dips late, it is.
Stand back!
No secrets as to who they're kicking to, is there?
I wonder if that's something they thought about before the game, or as a result of his knock-on, they've responded to that.
No, absolutely, I think that's part of their game plan. They had some elements of success through the season, kicking that way.
Big move! Both feet on the line!
Flannery's put down on the 4th and still well short of the halfway line, so Long again will dart out from dummy half and kicks downfield, and Smith careful. He's had a good game so far, Lee Smith, in that full-back's position. Possible candidate for the England squad in the World Cup when it's announced this week. And he's got a penalty here as well. The big grin from Sean Long. Those are not his real teeth, by the way. It is a gun shield, in case you were worried.
I honestly don't think that's a penalty.
Make sure our referee
control of the ball there. It's Long done wrong.
Well, he had an arm around the face, didn't he? So maybe a hint of a grapple.
That's why he's giving him the penalty.
Halfway, let's go! Right, go.
Maguire with a tap.
Cross the shoulders.
Ellis taking it in.
Move! Wait, James, go.
Here's Diskin.
It's okay.
Now Peacock. Dummy by him. Kieran Cunningham grabs, so does Graham.
Move. Here's 10, Paul Wellens. Go.
It's Burrow.
Play on.
It's a flat pass to Jones-Buchanan. His offload is excellent, and Smith is over. Leeds strike. And the referee points the finger. They say nothing wrong with that. Never mind, nothing wrong with that. That was super stuff.
Super play. The centre had some lead. Leeds have had some field position for some time now, and he was going to pay. He was going to take his toll. As good a set, defensive set. If you're prepared to offload a little bit on them, you can score some points. Long gives away the penalty, give Leeds field position, which they've gained in the past 5 minutes, they've dragged themselves back into the game. They shift the ball, and the resulting outcome. Watch this play from Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Hits the line as hard as he can. Smith on his shoulder. These conditions, you can slide him from 3 or 4 metres out. That's a super offload try. Leeds back in the game.
It's a slap on the back for the try scorer. It's possibly another kick in the teeth for St Helens if Kevin Sinfield can put this over. Kevin Sinfield strikes it well and curls it in. It's level again at 6 points apiece. It's a final that's living up to its pre-match billing here. Nothing given by either side.
Outstanding play from Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Rob Burrow tracks a couple, but it's just run as hard as you can and find the play. Smith's on his shoulder to catch. What you'd have to say is a try-scoring pass from Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
James Roby's on the park now too, so a little more brightness and alertness will be provided from dummy half. Kieran Cunningham has given way. Familiar interchange for St Helens. This is Burrow. Now Peacock. 25 minutes play and all square. As Jones-Buchanan brings it left to Senior. Senior makes a hole in the defence, which Long just about patches over, just well enough to hold things up for the time being. Sinfield. Diskin slips to his feet. Here's Donald. Back again now. Ellis has a look at what's ahead of him and decides he can take them on. 2 tackles to come. Here's Burrow. There's a loose pass. Jones-Buchanan was there to pick it up and gives it away. Scruton drops on it. It's a dangerous moment there. Here's Burrow. Well, Wellens has to put the foot down and get after this, but there are not too many in his shadows just at this stage. Now comes the chase. Wellens is able to clear his line.
Leeds are getting their want from the tactics that they're using, Dave. They're kicking really, really well. Even though the last play wasn't great, Burrow steps into the line and finds a terrific kick to put Saints under pressure again.
Here's Melly. Well hit. Roby. Now Fozzard, a relatively fresh pair of legs on the field. Price, I haven't seen too much of him at the moment with the ball in hand. Not in terms of making things happen.
He'll show up at the right time. And generally when you think you've got Saints struggling, he shows up and comes up with a game-breaking play in the main.
Long's kick is going to be taken by Hall. Saints again are up there in numbers. Here's Smith. Well, there are 2 or 3 players who are showing up at the moment as potential man of the match winners. Smith, the try scorer, Graham, the try scorer. 2 second rowers in Gilmore and in Jamie Jones-Buchanan, but there are other big guns who are going to have their say before this match is finished. Sinfield inside the 40 when he let the kick fly, but it's not going to bounce towards the touchline. It's instead going to be Wellens who will take it on his own goal line. And again, look at the chase.
Leeds' kicking game is super, isn't it, Dave? You know, they really are playing the territory game well.
Gardner. Melly. How many times has he carried from inside his own 25 metres so far tonight? Jamie Jones-Buchanan off at the moment temporarily. He will be back at a later stage in the game. Tackle was a little over-vigorous from Diskin. Stayed on too long and the penalty goes St Helens' way.
They're not missing each other, Dave. They really are. I think we should introduce a Richter scale for some of these hits that they're giving to each other. Should have measured them. Brutal.
Well, Maury Farsavalu has just come on for St Helens. James Graham has gone off, so expect potentially 1 or 2 fireworks here. Here comes Farsavalu, who, despite the name, does qualify as an English international these days. Roby Long, here's Price. Leeds win the tackle. Wilkin, or rather Roby. Wilkin on the outside. Now Long has moved into that dummy half position. This is Wilkin. Yards are hard to gain here for St Helens, but they are inside that Leeds territory by a distance here, so Long will be looking for an attacking kick. Up high, Smith underneath it. Eyes on the ball, hearing the hooves thundering towards him. Ducked underneath, what a bit of high tackle from Fasavalou. Keeps his head on his shoulders and keeps Leeds infield. Now Lulua.
Ali Lawatiti snuck on the field. How you missed him there, but I don't know, he's a big boy.
3, Sean, if you wait. Go, back 10, Lee.
Smith.
Lee.
This is Peacock.
4, big move.
Daniel Anderson watches on, very relaxed ahead of this game. He's been saying, as confident as he's ever been, as Sinfield kicks away. That's a huge kick. Spinning away. Lions again will chase it, but once more it has carried St Helens deep back inside their own territory. And again with yards to make up here. Melly has carried that ball as often as a prop forward inside his own half.
You look at the two and you won't think there's much difference between Mari Fasavalou and Francis Melly.
Knock on by Roby. Again, you put that one down to the conditions of the night, and maybe just a little lapse of concentration. And he sees that as a victory for his side.
It's a victory for his tactics, Dave. They're really focused. We've seen Sinfield with the howitzer kick down there, and the vigour of the Leeds defence is forcing errors on them and causing a little bit of anxiety. But they're a champion team.
Here's Maguire. 6-6 the scoreline. Very little between these two teams. Every opportunity will have to be taken tonight as the game moves to within 10 minutes of half-time. Peacock. Here's Diskin. Now Burrow. Sinfield. Oh, the ball was knocked out of his hands. It's picked up by Teller. Had he got it away? Well, he has, but the wrong way. And Hall will recollect for Leeds. And it will be business as usual for the side in amber and blue. That went forward. So after a series of handling mistakes on both sides, Woodley St Helens will get the head and feet here.
I thought Teller was aware then. Ricochet pass, off you go, Willie. He's looking for his winger, and that's why he puts it in one hand, hits the deck, it's a bit slippery, that's why he lost the ball. And then we're going to reverse and play patter cake. You have a go and we'll have a go.
Second over, short line. Ali, kick out, mate. 2 hands, Sean. Feet down, Matt.
Wellens up in that line.
Move to them.
Here's Leon Price. Fozzard wants it. Here comes a carry. Hard hit towards Peacock.
Cows move. I'll keep an eye on it. Just let me ref it, all right?
Roby
Go.
standing and waiting. It's Gilmore.
3,
Well met by Gareth Ellis again. Here's Long. Dummies on the inside to Fasavalou. Tries to scrag himself through, but he's hurled to the ground. Roby. This is Price. St Helens just giving themselves a position to work from, but they're giving it away. Obstruction, the referee decides. Penalty for Leeds. And another potential opportunity is given away. Fasavalou got in the way.
Yeah, he did. He impeded the defender, which was Kirk, and that's a fair penalty.
Tony got it. Just keep an eye on Ali Lautini. Keep an eye on Lautini.
It's been one of the most controversial rules of the year. Would you say obstruction in terms of tries given and not given?
Well, I think he started out that way, and then a little bit of sanity came back to the game, and he managed to get on with it. But it's still, you're going to get someone, you're not going to get someone. You just have to encourage your players to make the play, whatever.
Diskin from dummy half fields in onto Sinfield. Sinfield now takes it in. 7.5 minutes at half time. Diskin has a look around, looks at the defence, looks at what's on offer for his team, throws it out to Maguire. This is Senior who comes back in and offloads. Peacock is the unlikely man behind them all to take it on the juggle and drive it back in again.
He's always there, isn't he, Peacock?
Burrow. Dummies. Smith, the fullback, throws it a little blind. Ellis. Loatiti. Has the weight to unlock a defence, has the hands too, but couldn't get them away that time. It's back with Sinfield now. Puts the kick high. Melly's isolated here for the moment as the ball goes up, not back by Hall. Taken by Senior. Somehow got it away. Still alive here. Kirk put down. Tackle 6. Hand over to St Helens.
They've got plenty of white shirts in the frame there, didn't they, St Helens, from the inside, because Leeds do actually win the competition in the air. Get it back to Senior. As you see, 5 or 6 white shirts, ensuring that Leeds couldn't promote the ball.
Leeds again are throwing everything into defence here, keeping St Helens' gains to an absolute minimum. Fossard now tries to fire it through. Leaves the club at the end of the season, on his way to Wilkingston Rovers next year, Nick Fossard. Roby. It's a real wrestle going on, which slows things down exactly the way Leeds would want. And it means their defence is now set for this next St Helens onslaught. Price to Gilmore. Gidley just short of the halfway line. 6 tackled, Price again. Here comes Long now with a boot. Downfield, hoping to make the fullback and the winger work as hard as possible.
He's done that. That's a great kick.
Smith looks up and sees a wall of white and red and knows it's nothing short of a miracle required to get through.
Move John! Marcus!
Ball.
2! Mixed down! Willie!
Maguire. Senior. Interesting that he's switched out to that right-hand side now, Keith Senior.
I think it's because they put Ellis in the left centre over here for a little bit more strike, and I think he prefers one on the left.
And the penalty goes Leeds' way. Not square at the play, the ball, as you could see, as Roby darted out to make the tackle. Well, it's a classic of its type, isn't it? It's not thrill a minute, but there's some hard work going on from both sides. High intensity at the moment.
Big move! Here's Ted Murray.
Leeds creeping closer to where they want to be.
Keep it tiny, Nick.
Diskin out to Peacock. Net by Farsavalu. 2 more join in. 4 tackles to come. Diskin again now, fairly central. Options right and left. Goes up for Burrow. Burrow throws it behind the line. Here comes Maguire. Maguire again with that short, flat ball, which undid St Helens before. Loatiti this time can't take full advantage. Maguire with a dummy. Looking for a little flat-footedness in the Saints' defence, not finding it. Loatiti, the big man, is up there. Collects. Back to Burrow. Burrow. Along it goes to Sinfield. Sinfield puts it out towards Senior, who knew that Melly was after him, so he pats it on to Hall. Hall with a little soccer skills. Did he get the touchdown? There are plenty of questions here, and the referee is throwing it up to the video ref to provide the answers. And Leeds taking the lead. He thinks they have.
Melly takes a chance on trying to stop ball and all with Senior. Senior flicks it on, nothing wrong with that. That goes backwards.
That looks like a try, doesn't it?
Depends where his feet are. If he's in the field of play, it looks like a try.
Well, it's all about downward pressure here as well. You are the video referee, Brian Noble. What would your decision be?
Well, he's got downward pressure with his forearm now. That's what it is, whether his foot's in touch, I think. He's got downward pressure, that's a try for me, Dave.
Well, Ben Taylor is the video referee, and we'll have to make a decision from that. That was clever play by Ryan Hall, wasn't it?
Unless you say he's knocked it on with his left hand to his right hand for downward pressure. It's all about the knock-on, because his feet are in the field of play. Going to give a try, I think.
Now, despite all the technology, it still comes down to a matter of opinion at times. Ryan Hall's opinion is certain. It's a score. Ben Taylor is the man who matters most, and he agrees with the Leeds winger. And Leeds will take the lead just before half-time. It is a crucial, possible critical blow for them to strike against St Helens.
Well, here's the play. Burrow to Maguire. Is it Sinfield on the right-hand side? Promote the ball. Melly doesn't make the ball and all tackle, which gives Ryan Hall the opportunity. Great short kick. Got himself over the line and got it down.
Kevin Sinfield will look to add the two from a distance out. Oh, he struck it well and he's hit the post. He's got luck on his side. And Leeds have the lead now by 12 points to 6.
Leeds prepared to promote the ball, trying to, on one side they're trying to get long one-on-one, and on this side they're trying to get the ball away in relation to the pass play. Great finish from them.
It's St Helens 6, Leeds Rhinos 12.
Well, from the restart, Leeds have knocked on, and the referee has given them the benefit of the doubt here by presumably making that an accidental offside, and therefore the scrum head and feed, rather than a penalty. But what did you think about this? Should this have been an offside? Rather than accidental offside.
Well, he's not touched it, Lee Smith, so...
Well, it is a knock-on. St Helens do have the ball. Here comes Price, having conceded at the other end just moments ago. They have the perfect opportunity to reply here. 5 tackles out. Farsavalu hands it on, gives it away. Dollar with the interception. Untidy. Scruffily played by St Helens. And they pay the cost. What an opportunity given up.
Oh, you'd be spitting chips if you're Daniel Anderson. It's the first time they've been down there. You know, there's a great opportunity just before half-time. They get a break with Struton on the drop, and you think, all you've got to do is play the game for 6. And Leeds have been great in this part of the field, getting out of their own half, haven't they?
Daniel Anderson with maybe a hint of panic in his eyes, maybe not, but either way, it's not going the way his side would have dreamt it would have gone. It's Leeds at the moment, but it is only slender. Sinfield found space for himself, kicks it away. Betwixt and between Gardner and Wellens, not often you find a gap, and that leads back 3, but out it goes to Melly. Good hands, confident play. Melly, and again offloaded because he felt he was going out of play, and Leeds again are given possession.
Killing themselves a little bit here at the moment, St Helens.
There is just a moment of panic here into this final minute in the first half. Leeds can sense certainly that St Helens are suffering. Brian McLennan watches on, stalks the touchline as Peacock drives it in. Leeds in the ascendancy and hoping to strike again here. Sinfield, Burrow, inside ball again, Maguire, Fozzard meets him. 5 yards out, 5 tackles gone. Diskin plays it on quickly, last chance here. Sinfield might have been thinking about the 1, and his mind was taken off the fact that there was defenders there, and St Helens come away with it and survive the scare.
I think he was going for 1. It's great play from Leon Price to close down that opportunity.
Talau caught in possession. There'll be time for one more tackle here. Countdown sounding, and the hooter sounds too. Leon Price down, injured in back play as the first half is brought to its conclusion. St Helens leading through James Graham after 5 minutes, but Lee Smith and Ryan Hall piling on the pressure, and an injury to Leon Price might just pile on even more as far as Saints are concerned at the end of what has been an absorbing first 40 minutes. Well, slightly against expectations, just as it was last year. Leeds in the ascendancy at the moment. It is only the narrowest of leads. 12 points to 6, that could all change in the blink of an eye, but they are beginning to not dominate the game, but certainly play the game they want to, aren't they?
Well, it's just an indication of how hard they're prepared to run and how they're going to bend their backs. But we've seen our first 2 carries of St Helens in the second half, and that's replicated what Leeds have been doing. Go forward first, then find a play. I think if Saints are guilty of anything, it's probably playing a bit too lateral too early.
And what do you think about this question of the weather? Paul Sculthorpe saying it's a great leveller here tonight.
Well, I think it is a great leveller, but you have to play to the conditions. You give Leeds full credit for that. They've done all the right things at the right time. They've been prepared to kick, they've been prepared to be patient, and been prepared to bend their backs. They've kicked early in the tackle count, which has given them field position.
Here comes a kick on the 6 from Leon Price, which is caught comfortably by Lee Smith. There's been no obvious weakness in that position, has there, tonight, despite the absence of Brent Webb?
Yeah, I think there shouldn't be too much focus on that. I think Lee Smith's a very competent fullback.
Yes, senior. St Helens are now trying to get up and in them here, as Leeds have their job to do to bring it away. Peacock, like a huge side of beef, slamming in, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan still watches on from the sidelines. Scruton now. Sixth tackle. This is a good defensive set from St Helens, because Leeds are barely 25 yards away when they find themselves on the 6, and Maguire, under pressure, has to kick. Wellens will catch, but it means the start of this set will be on the halfway line.
And that's a great indication for what Daniel Anderson was very irate and animated at half-time. They do just those things. To establish field position, you've got to restrict Leeds' territory and kick well.
Here's Roby from dummy half. So taking on another stride or two. Paul Clough, who was one of those who started the game on the bench. Roby, again, just slipped a little. It might have played to his advantage because he wasn't tackled. This is Price. Wilkin steps up. Here's Long. Leeds muscling up where it matters at the moment. Sixth tackle coming up. Long puts the kick high to the corner. It's knocked back, and he's taken, and it is finished by Gidley. Referee confirms as such, and just what they wanted. St Helens with a score in the opening moments of this second half.
I think that's a fantastic indication of what Daniel Anderson said to them. They're checking to see if that was a knock-on. It was certainly a juggle, wasn't it? But play on. Long, which is the first time Saints have kicked in Leeds' half in the entire game. Gardner gets up, Gidley catches the rebound and burrows way over. What a super effort from Saints, and the message there is get to a kicking game. They didn't in the first half. They were trying to play their way around and offload their way to victory. Sometimes you've got to be patient, and sometimes you've got to finish with a kicking game product.
Well, if it was down to preference, Sean Long would rather not be kicking, but he is the best kicker in this side, so he has to take on the duties. How well has he struck that? Well enough. Well enough. All square, 12-12. It's a proper game, this. That was Daniel Anderson's reaction at half-time. And his side have shown a real reaction in the second half. This the end result of some real good pressure in this second period. Gidley with a try in the corner.
And that's the kitchen sink, the football boot, the toilet paper, everything thrown at them.
Roby. St Helens this time are being penned a little here. Roby. Looking for some big effort from their big forwards. That's good carry as well by Clough. Roby held on to early, couldn't get in his stride. Kirk grabbed a hold. Anderson watching on as Long will kick away. Smith, again, he's a safe pair of hands. Just a little bit of a gap for him to try and run into there, but it closes quickly enough. Maguire.
Now we're back to the arm wrestle, Dave. What Leeds showed in the first half is they're quite prepared to be patient and play the kicking game. Now Leeds have obviously been given their instructions from Daniel Anderson. Play football at the right end of the field, boys. With these conditions, get there first, and that means it's a territory game.
Here's Smith. Tried to step out, and his feet went from underneath him. Burrow. Maguire. Oh, it's a good little Hanley move. Loatiti just offering it away. Sinfield. Steepling into the rain it goes. Melly underneath it. And just a little bit of a juggle. Safe enough. It's a good place to start from a defensive point of view, though, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that's where Leeds, just at the moment, have the slightest tendency. They're prepared to kick the ball in the corner and really try and restrict Saints' first three plays, which makes their last three plays really difficult.
3 gone, 3 to come in terms of tackles for Saints in this set. That's a good offload. Wilkin trying to break the line. Just trying to break the spirits a little of this Leeds defence. Kieran Cunningham poised to return with his nous and his bulk and his power from dummy half. Now Price. Sixth tackle. 15 yards short of halfway. Long again. Needs to kick deep. It's a familiar pattern that's emerging again here, as Smith picks up and carries it back. Saints have had their go. Now it's Leeds' turn. Hall stepping away from the marker at dummy half, but finding two more willing St Helens defenders behind. One of those is Cunningham, who is now back on the field. Marty Fasavalu is the man he's replaced, so both Roby and Cunningham on the park now. They do have options from that position. Scruton into the wall and try to twist, but no chance of the offload. Diskin, Maguire, Sinfield, well met. So again, it'll take a kick here. Burrow just has to run away from Cunningham, who fairly fresh had him measured. The ball hit Gilmore, but it's still the sixth tackle because Gilmore didn't play at it, so Leeds are still needing to kick it away. Smith has done reasonably well. He's done very well in the end, actually, as that ball bounces out of play to the frustration of Francis Melly. Leeds didn't necessarily deserve this, did they?
I was thinking just checking as to whether he was a 40-20 or not, Dave. He comes a fair way before he kicks it. I think you'll find him right. That's a 40-20, isn't it?
Well, he did look as though he might have been behind. Well, what a turn-up this would be if Leeds are to get the head and feet. The referee has put the question to the video referee. Now, to remind you, if Lee Smith was behind the 40-metre mark when he kicked that, the ball certainly bounced out beyond the 20, then it will be Leeds' head and feed and not St Helens. So a wonderful attacking opportunity given to Leeds here, and that is a 40-20, isn't it? Well spotted, Brian Noble. And it has gone Leeds' way. Head and feed, and from a position of defensive desperateness, they suddenly find themselves well on the attack here. Smith to Maguire, loops it up, Maguire runs it out now. Ellis coming probing forward. 15 yards out. They want it played early. Maguire picks up now. Back to the middle again. Lauatiti bundles himself in. Can't unpick them. Diskin. Peacock. Again, it takes three to wrestle him down. Diskin. It's Burrow. Burrow back to Sinfield. Sinfield out to Senior. Senior steps in on the grain of the defence. Caught by Wilkin. Out to Burrow. Burrow steps, 1-2, darts between two of them. Just about hauled down. Fossard grabbed his collar. By his fingertips, he pulled him down. Sinfield again with a little kick through. Maguire! Over he goes. Onside, yes he was. The referee gives it. Perfect play by Leeds. Lots to think about again for those St Helens players behind the sticks. It's the old 1-2. Sinfield, Maguire, and Leeds back in front.
Fantastic patience from the Leeds team. 40-20 is the key. Great kick from Smith. In adversity, you'd have to say, because it was a desperation last play. Gives them the field position. Here's the old 1-2. Kevin Sinfield, who's going to be on the end of it? Danny Maguire. Great finish. Threaded his way through. A couple of Saints players dove on the ball. Onside, as we can see there. First to the breakdown.
Kevin Sinfield simply doesn't miss these. Right in front of the sticks. You can see how large the target looks. The lead is back to 6. It's St Helens 12, Leeds 18.
Real smart play from Kevin Sinfield. That's an absolute great skill, the ability to thread the needle there, because he's probably got, what, a foot to put that ball between the space.
And what a confrontation this is. 10 minutes of the second half played. It's perhaps not too early to remind you that if the game is all square after 80, then we will be into extra time. 2 halves of 10 minutes each. And if it remains all square, we keep playing 10 minutes at a time until someone scores a point.
Yeah, he's clearly onside, isn't he?
That was two players who know each other's game, wasn't it? Sinfield with a kick, Maguire with the anticipation. That was a pass out of the tackle, was that? The penalty has gone St Helens' way.
I think he's saying that his elbow's down on the floor. I'm not so sure it was, you know. Oh, yes, it was. He's got it right. It's a climb. Once your elbow's grounded, for our viewers, once the elbow, that's deemed as a tackle once his elbow hits the ground.
Well, Leeds, having put St Helens on the back foot, suddenly find themselves on the back foot. Gidley with a tap. Here comes Graham with a charge. First to score tonight, of course. He'd have got decent odds on that. Here's Long. Price stepping in again from a position where he is so dangerous. Wilkin, 8 yards out. Long again. Graham's there. Leeds scurrying across. Saw the pass coming and in they went. This is Cunningham who stands as the little general behind them all now. Throws it out to Long. Long inside to Wellens. Throws it back to Price. Tallow on the outside of him. Melly's left it further left still. He's being chased. Melly comes back on the inside. Leeds defenders struggling across. A hint of an offside there. Obstruction rather against Wilkin. St Helens are allowed to play on. Wilkin. Graham. Long. Firm passing, well held. Firm tackling, well held. Cunningham. Sixth tackle. Wilkin. He puts a little kick in, and it's cleared away by Hall, but it's kicked rather wildly away, and Smith steps out of play to concede the dropout underneath his sticks.
Difference in mentality completely from St Helens. The first half, they're trying to promote the ball, try and find a try-scoring play. Last players here, patient. Build some pressure, stay at the right end of the field, and you'll get your points.
And for those who are off their seats at the moment and saying that was quite clearly offside, you cannot be offside in the in-goal area, of course. So that's why Leeds have conceded the dropout rather than the penalty. Kevin Sinfield is taking all the time in the world, or at least as much as he's allowed to, because Leeds' defenders, having tired themselves out with that last set of 6, will be looking to get as much oxygen back in their lungs as they can right now, knowing that another onslaught is on its way in the shape, originally, of Nick Fossard. Cunningham now. Roby, a live wire as ever. Luloi and Diskin match him well. Here's Cunningham. This is Graham. He's trying to hurl off Matt Diskin and almost succeeding. Cunningham up again, off and away. Here's Gilmore, whose breaks proved so decisive in the first half. Cunningham. Graham, flat. Fossard looks and twists away. Might have got it away to someone in support. Maybe he sensed the line was close. Put down. Last tackle, Price along the line. Roby was up there, well read by Hall. Terrifically well read by the winger, who had to stick when others might have twisted, but he saved the try. Here's Peacock. The doleful chant of Yorkshire echoing around Old Trafford at the moment. 40 minutes of the second half played. Leeds with that lead. Here comes Jones Buchanan. Back on the field, just having returned from the interchange bench. And Burrow with a very good kick. That's a terrific kick. Wellens has to churn and chase an awful long way back. And he's met well too. And another terrific play by Leeds.
Oh, another terrific kick. And I think that's been the difference between the two teams at the moment, the kicking games.
Gidley. Cunningham. Graham. A step by the prop forward, but stepping into the shoulder of Luloi. Diskin's hurt. He's carrying his arm there as Long came on at pace. Peacock had him watched. Cunningham. Here's Fossard. Smashes in and turns away, and Price now. Senior's in there, Sinfield's in there. Here comes the 6th. Long's kick hits the head of Maguire. It's another 6. Maguire played at it. St Helens have it back. Another set now, but this time they're inside Leeds' half. Roby. Driving tackle. That's where he played at it, according to the referee, Maguire. And that looked high on Graham. Here's Long. It's Flannery, just threatening to step through. Price from dummy half, Fossard. Graham's to his left, Fossard again. Six tackle, you can see how close they are. These are anxious moments for Leeds defence. Killingham, it's Graham! Just held up. You do not come closer than that without scoring the try.
This is a really important exit set for Leeds now. If Saints can keep them within the 30, they'll get some more field position and maybe score on the next set. This is a huge challenge for the Leeds team.
He knows it. Brian McLennan watches on. Diskin. Jamie Jones-Buchanan smashed into by Gidley. Turned away and two more defenders waiting for him. Diskin seems to have recovered from an earlier knock. Here's Smith. Well, they've made a little progress here. Diskin might have been hoping for a penalty there. Didn't get it. Six tackles, so out to Sinfield, and Sinfield kicks away. Wellens is right underneath that. Knew where it was going to drop. Ooh, and high. Well, St Helens, through the pains of Paul Wellens, have got themselves a lot more yards here. And again, it's a little moment that could have a big influence on the game, isn't it?
I'd have to say it was a penalty from Danny Maguire. Supposed to go below the chin, Danny.
Might have taken them 3 or 4 tackles to get here. Instead, they're starting afresh on this set of 6. As a result, Farsavalu in. Here's Cunningham. This is Long. Cunningham again will take up his responsibilities here. So many options. Flannery, Roby, Farsavalu. Ellis was in there. Wrestle makes it a slower play the ball than certainly Farsavalu and Cunningham would have wanted. Wilkin, Roby holding it up. There was a touch from Ellis. It'll be another 6 here as St Helens drive it in. That's the 0 tackle. It'll be another 6 tackles from this position as Cunningham picks up from dummy half. Long again now. Price. Oh, and he's almost lost it. Just about kept hold. Had it hit a Leeds man, it would have been a knock-on. Referee said it didn't. Cunningham throws it away. Literally throws it away. Gardner had to be brave. St Helens set themselves again. Flannery. Here's Gidley. 3 tackles gone. Cunningham again awaits. Long with a step. Maguire came crashing in with a tackle. But it was Luluai. Not much difference between the pair, is there? Cunningham again now. Throws it out. Here's Roby. Roby along the line. It's a walk-in at the corner. Gardner scores. Eventually, Leeds' resolve runs out. St Helens couldn't find a way through them, but they have found a way around them. We're heading back for parity again.
Hugely important step from Saints. Not the best pass from Kieran. Eddie Gardner's his double whammy. He's come up with the great skill, the great save on the floor. And Anderson obviously frustrated. And then he holds his chalk, and Roby finds a great play for him to finish in the corner. A result of St Helens' patience at that end of the field this half. They're prepared to play their sets of 6 out and try and tire the Leeds defence. I have to say Scott Donald comes in a little bit too far there to give Gardner the opportunity. But the little run around, little dish play, little set-up play, and Gardner finishes really well. As a result of Saints' preparedness to be patient.
Sean Long looking to kick his 3rd of the night, but he has put it wide. So it does just remain slight advantage to Leeds at 16 points to 18. Eddie Gardner's 31st try of the season this year. His coach will be pleased with that fact. He's top scorer by a distance. Farsavalu. As ever, a handful for defenders. Cunningham. Here's Graham.
10, Kevin. Wait, go.
Roby.
3. Kevin. Oh, Jamie, go.
Cunningham again now. Barrelling forward.
Cheers, Tony.
Flannery
4 now. Jamie, let's
put
make
down
10
easily
away.
enough.
Come on, mate.
2 tackles left in this set for St Helens now. Trailing as they do by those 2 points as Graham does it tough.
5 and last.
Decent carry, gives them a central position here as they look for the kick away. Long has time to just hoof it downfield. Lee Smith underneath it. The rain is relentless by the way. Still hammering down here. 1 or 2 splashes as players collect and start their runs. Hall.
2. Release. Get square, Kieran.
18 minutes left to play.
Get square. No. 3. Move. Kieran. Go.
This is Burrow. Here's Jones Buchanan, seen as the only man on the outside.
4. Don't drag it. Stand 2. Go.
Maguire. Here's Diskin.
5 and last, Kieran. Come on, Kieran. Here's
Again, they
10.
reach the 6th. Sinfield
They're on there.
puts it high. Nelly concentrates, up he goes, can't collect. It'll be another 6 tackles here. Maguire will not need it. He steps away and scores. Lightning. And it has struck for the 2nd time. Leeds delighted because they know now that could be a very crucial blow. Very soon they could be 2 scores ahead, and Danny Maguire's the architect.
As a result, again, Kevin Sinfield pinpointing Francis Melly. Kick's no good unless you get those 2 blue shirts in the fans putting pressure on him. Comes up with the 4. Danny gets the scraps. Off he goes. Step, step, under the sticks. Again on the back of Kevin Sinfield's pinpoint kick to the corner. We've played that play all night long and it's been great dividends. Danny Maguire.
Kevin Sinfield puts this over. Leeds lead by 8. Over it goes. That could be a huge, huge moment in this grand final. Maybe they have just given themselves enough of an advantage now to carry it all the way. Wellens with a restart, but it's a real job on St Helens' hands now, and they've not helped themselves by putting it straight out of play, and instead of putting pressure on Leeds, have given them a penalty back on the halfway line. It's a big pitch. You shouldn't miss by that much, should you?
Well, he's trying to get the ball as far in goal as he possibly can, and when things are going against you, they certainly do. If you look at Leeds' kicking game and the bounce that the ball had, when you think about Smith's 40-20, they've had some pivotal moments in the game, haven't they? They've had that element of luck because of their aggression, because of their good kicking game, because of their desire. Are you allowed to use that word?
You can if you like. Well, normally St Helens are a side who seem to play the game with a smile on their faces. They are scowling at the moment. Brows knitted as Leeds look to turn this advantage into a match-winning position. Peacock doing it tough. Interesting tonight as well, 2 potential England standoffs going head-to-head. And you'd have to say advantage Maguire over Leon Price tonight as Jones Buchanan takes it too wide. He's helped out of play by the St Helens defenders, and it will be St Helens head and feet at the scrum here. Sean Long, the man in the moment. Long's feet. I mean, you won't write St Helens off until the final hooter sounds.
Not with 15 minutes to go, Dave. They're a talented team.
But it is uphill from here, isn't it?
Well, it's 2 scores, and they're capable of that. We've all known that.
They have pulled off some quite freakish recoveries from dreadful positions in games in recent years of St Helens. This is A long way away from being a lost cause, but they need to right what is going wrong pretty quickly. Cunningham. Off he goes. Again, it's that barrelling run of his which takes St Helens inside Leeds' half, but momentum will quickly be lost here because they have to kick. It's on the 6th. Lee Smith will have work to do, will he? Will he? No, it'll roll out of play. Well, not a terrible result from St Helens' point of view, but they would have loved that to have held up. Cunningham's off here. Is that simple fatigue, or is there a potential injury there to Kieran Cunningham, the fact that he's coming off?
No, I don't think there's an injury. I think Gilmore's not a bad bloke to put on there when you need some line break and you need some vigour. And they may be saving Kieran up for, you know, the last 5 minutes when they maybe need one score if they can get back in it.
He'll bowl the final couple of overs, if you like. Kieran Cunningham, bring him on at the death. Here's Burrow. Sinfield. On the quiet, he's had a very good game tonight, hasn't he, Kevin Sinfield?
Yeah, I think his kicking game alone is worthy of the highest accolade. He's pinpointed it.
Last tackle reached. So out it goes from dummy half by Burrow. His kick again is just about perfect. Just about what they needed. Gardner's made to work hard, and look who's at first. The man who kicked the ball from dummy half is up there to make the tackle.
And there we see the difference in the teams. The Leeds kicking game has been a little bit better than Saints tonight. We saw there 2 examples. The last kick that Long had went out, given the free 20 metres, and I can't remember Leeds doing that.
Leon Price again is not allowed to make any impact. Here comes Roby. Off he goes. A slither and a slide from him could change a game in a moment. As Long kicks out, Hall, knees and elbows pumping, goes chasing after this to put himself in control of the situation. Gets it back into the field of play. Quite happy to concede the tackle there. Leeds still have work to do here. It's Ablett. 4, 5 St Helens players in there to make that tackle. They weren't going to miss. Burrow. Graham hanging on. Again, it's a run from dummy half. Lee Smith's had quite a night, playing from full-back. Sinfield. Again, they reach the kick, and down it goes. Wellens. Leeds are chasing it almost in a line. And now Roby from dummy half. Thoughtful moments for Daniel Anderson. This is Graham. Long. Price. Gidley. Burrow doesn't hit him. Maguire does. Gidley turns away. Down he goes. 10 yards inside Leeds' half. Still a couple of tackles to come here. No fumble there. Roby puts it through. Off he goes. We'll be hoping the referee will give him an obstruction. He has. Well, I'm pretty sure that James Roby was hoping rather than expecting this decision. That looks like a knock-on, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh, well, no, he's got the right call on. Is it Bailey?
Yeah, Bailey put his shoulder in, didn't he?
Let me get out of the way, let me get out of the way. Stay, Sean. Come on.
Bailey's given away the position with a penalty. St Helens now will have 6 tackles from inside 20 metres to hit this Leeds line as hard as they can. They don't come much harder than Graham. Takes it in, some tough stuff to begin with. Roby. Flannery keeps hold. Here's Roby again. Now Long. Gilmore. Oh, he's lost it. Oh, he had it stolen. Offside, in fact. Leeds offside. Well, a pretty cheap penalty to give away in the circumstances.
Tough one as well. That's a big 10 metres to get him on the line.
Roby with a tap, and Graham brings it in. Oh, that's an awful pass. Burrow senses he's got it, and he has. Well, the frustration mounts for those who have St Helens in their hearts, because Leeds are thwarting them. Well, you have to say St Helens did a good job on themselves there.
Yeah.
Sinfield again, kicking them to death tonight. Again, it's a long, lonely trip back for Wellens and Melly. And a look up to see there are so many there in blue and amber. That must be a heartbreaking moment for St Helens.
On the back of what they did at the other end of the field, you might think it might be a bit too difficult tonight for them.
Shoulders not visibly slumping just yet, but inside St Helens must know they are in a battle tonight that they might not win. It's not something they're used to. They're used to dominating games, winning them with an elegance and a determination. Roby to Long, Long with a step, Lawatiti and Sinfield there to make the tackle. Cunningham comes back on. St Helens know that it needs something special as the kick under pressure flies out of play from Wilkin. Leeds will get it back inside of St Helens half. The screw is turning. It is Leeds' voices that are echoing around Old Trafford still. Lawatiti. Burrow stands and waits, the biggest to the littlest. Maguire. Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Graham grabs him, but Buchanan gets it away. Smith, almost toying with him like a boxer on the rope, steps away and then tries to go in for the kill. Here's Burrow. Peacock to his left was maybe a little too far forward. Burrow's pass is forward. Sinfield knows that this is a decision against him. Saints head and feed. An apology from the scrum half. And there you saw the kick that really has put St Helens under pressure here tonight.
Feet down, Matt. Come on, off the boot, play on.
There are 7 and a bit minutes left to play, and in that time, St Helens, if they are going to win this, have to come up trumps twice. Cunningham. It's Gidley in hot pursuit.
Leeds' defence has been magnificent, hasn't it, Dave? I have to say.
Price.
Match the quality of their kicking game.
A real total commitment tonight from the side in blue and amber. Cunningham. Long. Gidley. Wrapped up. Roby. Farsavalu. Passes to men who don't seem to have a plan. Cunningham. Long. Now he kicks. Smith keeps a watchful eye and pouches safely. Wellens was after him, but Smith has found the gap. Oh, no, he hasn't. Suddenly the gap was filled by the huge frame of Graham, who's there again. 74 minutes in, James Graham with 2 consecutive tackles. Misses the third, though, and Leeds are on the way through again here. Wellens had to hit him. Ablett's pulled down. The play the ball was terrible. Well, that was maybe a lack of experience, but he should have held his head there.
Fantastic break. Play 3, the last thing you want. Trying to get up to play the ball quickly and just closes it dead. Drops it cold.
Keep working, guys.
They required steadiness there, really, didn't they? After that break.
Keep working. Make sure keep your feet
But
down,
it
Matt.
has ended up with St Helens head and feet at the scrum.
Relax, Ali.
There's a buzz around the ground now. It's a really absorbing contest this here tonight. It has been a terrific game between 2 very high-quality sides who've really slugged it out down the middle. Moments of brilliance have come every now and again, but it has been gold dust amongst the coal dust tonight. That's dropped. Knocks on. Who's it going to go to?
Yeah, Ali definitely knocked it out. Right, guys, arm it in. Head in. Let's go.
Maybe St Helens head and feet.
Let's go. Out.
What can they come up with here? Roby.
1.
Here's Cunningham at dummy half now. St Helens, 5 minutes left to play. Desperation will be creeping into their game now, maybe. Cunningham again, stands and waits, Longs to his left. Farsavalou waits too. It's a dummy to him, and a dummy again to Hargreaves. But Long is stitched up by 2 Leeds defenders. But they are creeping closer again. Here comes Graham, who started it all off. Now Farsavalou. 5 yards away. 2 tackles to come. Cunningham down this blind side. Quick hands, Talau, but good defending again. Solid. No hint of a breach. So this is tackle 6. Long. The kick again to the corner. There's nobody there. There was literally nobody there. And it rolls out of play. And just a sense of St Helens not knowing what to do on the 6th. Fozzard shakes his head.
Great pressure from the Leeds team. Great defensive pressure, great will not to have their line breach and all of those things. And I think statistically they've been the best defensive team all year, haven't they? And they've proved it tonight. You know, with conditions, whether it helps Saints or not, Leeds have done the right thing. They've kicked early, they've chased really, really hard, and they've bent their backs.
The clock has stopped with 4 minutes left to play. These are weary Warriors now. They are joyful supporters who sense their side are closing in on a second successive grand final success. Daniel Anderson wanted to go out on a high. It'll be an inglorious low, the way things stand. Maguire. Lower Titi. Hargreaves puts him down, but Leeds will be happy to take all the tackles in the world now.
I won't be surprised if they kick a touchline as well. Have a scrum, take some time off the clock.
Diskin. Sinfield. Out to Senior. Things are brewing again here. Senior pushes off Long. Another try here for Leeds, and that is it. Here's Burrow. 6th tackle. What about the drop goal? Sinfield is not. He's going to stick to the game plan. High into the corner. Catch that, Mr. Melly, or Mr. Wellens. Well, Wellens did catch it. He is claiming that he caught it on the fall behind the in-goal area, so maybe it should have been a tap. The referee says no, you slid out of play, so it's a drop.
I just can't see where he caught the ball. Where he started from is what the issue is. He's saying he started from the field of play for the catch. He could have started from inside the in-goal. It was a 20-metre restart.
The referee wants a dropout to be taken again. Paul Wellens with a troubled look on his face. It's not often we see that in big games like this. Normally at this point St Helens are home and hosed, but he felt that this should have been. A tap on the 20. And it's a crucial definition, isn't it? When does it count as being in the field of play, or when is it in goal? But anyway, St Helens have escaped. The drop somehow wriggles their way. Roby has it. Price. Quickly out to Talau. Here comes Melly. Look how many are charging across for Leeds.
It's like one of those Keystone Cop films.
There were 8 of them in the frame. Long. Daniel Anderson must be wondering where the ideas come from. 90 seconds left to play. His side have to score twice. The way it stands, it's not going to happen. He knows his side are just about in easy street. Helped by Farsavallou's fumble. Peacock picks it up. Well, the resignation from one coach, the congratulations to the other. The 2 men in the know in the stands feel that that is the game over. Brian McLennan there shaking hands with his opposite number, Daniel Anderson. With a minute left, St Helens have to score twice. Nothing short of a miracle will alter the fact that Leeds are going to win their second successive grand final here. Lee Smith, who will be named the man of the match tonight, the Harry Sunderland Trophy winner, just dancing in. Slow to his feet as well he might be. Sinfield out to Maguire, kicks it out of play, doesn't matter where it's going to go. 35 seconds left here. It's been a terrific performance by Leeds tonight.
It's been outstanding, typified by Smith and Sinfield in their determination, and led up front, I feel, by Jamie Peacock, who's had an outstanding game, complemented by all his pack. They deserve it, Leeds. Their tactics were great.
Just time for one more scrum, and then pull out the corks, certainly if you're a Leeds fan. Oh, it's dropped by Gidley. That will be it. They will not reform now. The big screen is counting down. The hooter hasn't sounded, but they know it's theirs. For the first time in their 113-year history, Leeds have won back-to-back rugby league titles. Only the 6th time they have been the champions. They did it last year under Tony Smith. A new man came in, Brian McLennan, and has shown them the way to do it again. Leeds are the winners in 2008. St Helens, for the 2nd year running, are humble.
Immensely proud. They stood up, every single one of them, and to come here and be written off like we have been, I think every man and his dog would have had a bet against us. I thought we had 17 warriors out there who were prepared to die for each other and give their all, and they certainly did.
Outplayed for more than half a game. You know, we missed some tackles. Leeds took opportunities that were presented to them. Congratulations to them.
It is very hard to put it into words. You know, given that the opposition we're playing against, St Helens, are just so an outstanding opposition, and that's why, you know, we're so overwhelmed with joy, really, is because we know we've come up against a champion club in St Helens.
Well, Lee Smith comes up to collect his Man of the Match award, the Harry Sunderland Trophy winner, in a position he would not have expected to have filled at the start of the week. Came in at full-back in place of Brent Webb. They said that Webb would be missed. He hasn't been.
I had a few days where I were, worrying about not even playing, and then Webby pulled out, and I feel for him. He's one of my best mates and that, and I said to him, I go out and try to do him proud.
Well, Kieran Cunningham has one more year to go around for St Helens, and he still has a chance of further glories, but he, Paul Wellens, Leon Price, so many of the others would have expected to have walked up the steps last tonight to collect the Super League trophy itself. Instead, it's the commiseration procession and the losers' medals that go to them. Jamie Peacock has had so many highs in his career. There'll be few to match this, I'm sure, here tonight. The expected beams of a winning team. Rod Burrow will be involved in England's World Cup campaign, no doubt. Danny Maguire almost certainly will as well. Jamie Jones-Buchanan bandaged but unbowed. Lee Smith, the man of the match winner. Brian McLennan, the man who put the tactics in place. Just like 2007, 2008 will be the year of the Rhino. Kevin Sinfield lifts it high. A little bit of history made. First time that Leeds have won the title in consecutive years. Huge celebrations amongst those supporters tonight. As the corks are taken out, it is Leeds who are the grand final winners.
Tell me the role of Brian McLennan in that, in bringing the troops together and rallying the way he has.
We knew when he came to the club his reputation was, we spoke to any of the New Zealand guys, how he just made players want to play for him and want to die for him, and he's brought that spirit here. 2 weeks ago we were all in a pretty dark place, staring down the barrel of being out of the playoffs and losing a trophy that we had in our grasp. He turned that around. A lot of this is down to him. Them New Zealand guys are exactly right, because you do want to die for them.
Oh no, they want to die for each other, and well, we've got a really good team spirit, and you know, the club is as a result of what's been done for many years before us, and you know, we're really proud to hold the flag up for the club.
I don't think it's really sunk in yet, you know. I've just sat with boys in there, you know, and looking around and everything. I think we're all like not gobsmacked, we're just like, can't believe it.
Every single person involved in our staff and our players done a great job, because, man, it's hard to get up for a World Club Challenge and then get it up again at the end of the year. And I believe we're the first club to do that out of Super League, and that's because it's so damn hard to do. So, you know, it's a great effort by everybody involved.
It wasn't a game where I think either coach is going to go, wow, that just completely undid us. It was opportunities that teams took. You know, when we got in attacking areas, we didn't take all the opportunities. And Leeds were pretty clinical at their finishing. They finished very well and scored some very, very good tries.